So yeah, today we were just talking a little bit about some of the sort of weird and wonderful things that I've been doing over the last few years, talking about Twitter taking over my account. We've been talking about the fact that algorithms and what's going to happen with them next and how people shouldn't game the algorithm. We've talked a little bit about the importance of privacy, but also the growth in groups and communities, and really just understanding how the industry is shifting now as we've moved into this phase where people are much more savvy with how they use social. Well, people are smarter now. People are aware of the risks, but they're also aware of the importance and benefits of social. So we're in a space now where people are not so comfortable with sharing everything to everybody at all times, but they're also aware that saying nothing and doing nothing is also a wasted opportunity. So we are at a time where it's a big inflection point in social. It's an exciting time to be a social media manager. Well, algorithms, they continue to be as opaque as they ever did. Facebook still doesn't reveal much about what they're doing. They just give us little teasers of things they've changed, and you now have to figure out how to best leverage it. But as I was saying earlier on, trying to chase the algorithm and find the latest trick to kind of get some growth is a wasted opportunity when you could spend most of that time understanding your audience or working on better content or just engaging. That word of driving engagement is about engaging with people, and there's enough social brands at the moment that still don't converse, don't engage with their customers or with their audience, and that's something you could spend much more time doing rather than worrying about an algorithm that will probably change again the following week. Depending on what sort of company you are and the sort of audience you've got and also the types of content, then that will help you guide you towards the right platform. If you've got a very young audience, then you're naturally going to start thinking about Snapchat and TikTok, whereas if you've got a very B2B organization, then you'd be thinking about LinkedIn. If you're talking about very general, broad sort of first starting points, then I would suggest that Facebook and Instagram and Twitter are obvious choices, but then Facebook pages are now becoming less and less important, whereas groups and communities and messaging apps and bots are far more important in 2019 and going forward. So I think it's a case of not trying to do every platform on everything all of the time, but picking the right ones for you. And it might be that Facebook isn't relevant for you, which is surprising. It's the biggest platform, but you might find that you get much more engagement and get more out of using just Instagram or just using messaging like WhatsApp and conversing with people. So it really needs a little bit of homework from the team to figure that out. Stories, well, stories is everything now. Facebook is shifting very quickly towards stories. Instagram is very much one of the leaders in stories, and so stories is not going to go away. It's an important part of how people will now use social going forwards. It gives a lot more creative opportunity, and people like them because of their ephemeral nature and the fact that you can quite quickly and easily be very creative. The thing with newsfeed in the previous times we've used social, it was very static. It was an image, a photo, a bit of text, whereas now we're talking about the fact you can add stickers, you can say your location, you can kind of do all sorts of slow motion effects, and you don't need to be a super-whizzy video editor to be really creative. And the current kind of generation that's coming through that are using all these apps are people that are wanting to express themselves visually and using audio and be creative and express their creativity, and that's what these platforms are giving them the creative tools to express themselves, and that's where it is. Well, I think it's going to be more of the same for the next 12 months or so, which is more about stories, more about groups, less about kind of public sharing to everybody. It's going to be more about understanding your audience and getting closer to have a proper relationship. People have talked for years about have a relationship with your customers and stuff, but I don't think brands have really done that, and so you have to get closer to them and understand them, because now with private social sharing, where people are going to have these conversations in encrypted messaging apps or in private communities, you're needing to rely on the fact that your message, your product or service, that they're going to be advocates for that and take those messages into these private communities. And so if you're not able to have that understanding of them, that relationship with them, then the chances of those messages getting into these places where you as a brand can get to are slim. So that's why it's important to understand the audience.